Good evening. First, from the investigative unit tonight, St. Gabriel Police Chief Kevin Ambo is disputing claims made by the Iberville Sheriff's Office about the circumstances which led to Captain Devin Boutte's murder.
Sheriff Brett Stassi alleging possible drug dealing as he asked the State Attorney General's office to investigate. Bess Cashley with Ambo's forceful defense of his murdered officer.
Michael, Sylvia, in our exclusive interview with Chief Ambo, he gets candid about why he doesn't believe the allegations coming from the sheriff's office. It's been a difficult week for the St. Gabriel Police Department after losing Captain Devin Boutte.
It's been a hard 3 days. Devin was loved by everybody in this community.
Chief Kevin Ambo says made worse by the allegations coming from his confessed killer.
I saw an officer who was butchered up beyond recognition. I didn't even recognize him. That's how bad this guy beat him. To the point that we may not even be to open his casket. And you're gonna take a word of a cop killer?
He's guilty of committing a crime.
The Iberville Sheriff's Office and the Attorney General are investigating Boutte for corruption involving drugs.
We come to a conclusion on what was going on.
Sheriff Brett Stassi saying he provided weed and meth to his live-in boyfriend and killer, Warren Mitchell, which may have been part of his motive.
He thought that Boutte was developing into where maybe his life would be put in danger. And whether he thought it or dreamed it, it was part of his mental status at the time of the attack.
Ambo says it's simply not true.
Here's what I can say.
Yeah.
You take your camera and you talk to anyone in St. Gabriel, and the word drugs and Devin Boutte's name would never come up in the same sentence. The thing that amazed me is the only person can tie Devin Boutte, the drug, is a cop killer.
Why do you think they're putting so much stock in that? I mean, they're asking the Attorney General to come in and investigate the actions of a man who has passed away. I mean, why are they doing that?
Whatever the reason is, I'm open to any investigation, whether it's the Attorney General, whether it's the Sheriff's Office, whether it's the FBI. I'm transparent. Whatever Devin did in his personal life, he didn't bring it to the police department.
About 8 Sunday morning, Ambo tells me a store clerk he knows called him, saying someone at the store wanted to speak to him. It was Warren Mitchell, confessing to what he had done.
When Mitchell called you to tell you what he did he tell you why?
I asked him why. He wouldn't give me a reason. He wouldn't give me a reason. And it's stuff that we talked about that I got to release to the investigators that I don't want to talk about, you know. All I know, I have to testify to what I saw in that room was Devin Boutte beaten beyond recognition, no clothes on, with a big old knife in his back.
Ambo says a critical flaw in Mitchell's accusations that Boutte had drugs at his house is the fact that he lived with his canine drug dog.
Devin was a canine officer. Make it make sense. You have drugs at his house, you got to train the dog.
Another issue, he says, is how long it took Mitchell to report his crime.
I know what rigor mortis look like.
Oh, really?
It wasn't no blood, it was dried up. He had to kill Devin around about 1 o'clock that morning. Do the investigation. It got people saw him walking on the levee at 2:30 that morning. When you came down off your high, then you won't think of a way to get out what you done. You call the police chief like you not kill a dog and say, I kill your officer? Who does that?
Boutte's funeral will be this Saturday at 11 at the St. Gabriel Community Center. It is open to the public. For the investigative unit, Bess Casserly, WBRZ News 2.
Houston, we got a problem. It's the Johnnies. And I am Trailhand Bill reporting live from South Florida. It's a beautiful Wednesday night, 8:43 p.m. I was about to record the video for today, and then I seen this update on the last video that I covered. Let me go slow here, guys. If you didn't see it, a Louisiana captain from a small town out there was murdered by his gay lover. Now, what I forgot to say in that video is we don't talk enough about the demographic crime in the LGBT community, because there's this narrative, there's this rhetoric that non-LGBTQ members are always abusing, brutalizing, terrorizing those people. Shout out to them. When I say those people, I don't mean to be disparaging, but I'm saying that group of humans, when in actuality, you know what I'm saying, like I say, we don't talk enough about how they terrorize each other. So I forgot to say that. I wanted to throw it in there now. But he was like 34 or something, and his live-in lover was 25, a younger gentleman. And he was murdered, he was stabbed, and as we hear in this video, the 25-year-old air quote suspect who was arrested, you heard the police chief say he called him and told him, and they arrested him, and he was given a bond. So I don't know if he's out on bond, but he also had some other things going on in his life pertaining to this relationship, and that is what the sheriff is talking about. Okay, so you hear this chief say, he ended the video saying, he called me to admit that he had just killed this guy, the captain. Now, keep in mind, this is a captain. This ain't no regular patrol. This ain't no regular officer. This is a captain, a huge, large member of police leadership. So he called me to say he killed this guy, confessed to murder. Who does that? That, along with other things you said, Chief, tells me there is nothing this gentleman could have did, nothing revealed in this circumstance is going to make you see or admit that your officer is guilty, potentially guilty, and that this gentleman just did the right thing, and he may have found himself in this situation because of the actions of your officers. You're not going to believe that, because you, as the chief of police, sit up there and ask why your drug-dealing captain's murderer or killer or the person who took his life would call you and admit to the crime. Motherfucker, ain't that what y'all take people to interrogation room to try to get them to do? Ain't that what you want somebody to do when they, come on, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're not even thinking, because you're thinking from Johnny bias. And that tells me things that I need to know about you as a person, as a Johnny, and as a leader. Fam, you wildin'. You ask that dumbass question that makes no sense whatsoever to anybody who's thinking with their minds. I want to rewind again to something you said that makes no sense. You kept emphasizing cop killer. No, we don't know that. We know he is responsible for a man no longer being here. You said he is the only person saying these things about your now deceased captain, a Johnny leader. He's the only person saying this, sir? You told us you're willing to speak to the sheriff about the investigation that he's conducting. The sheriff is saying it, family. They're investigative Johnny saying it about your officers, but in your rhetoric, in your summation, you're saying the guy who's responsible for your cop dying is the only one saying it, so we supposed to just overlook your other colleague? That's what I'm saying. Anybody thinking it's going to see what you're doing here, you're doing what Johnnies do. You're trying to pull the wool over our eyes like we can't see and hear what's clearly before us. And that tells us what we need to know about you and cops. Now, let's talk about the other things that weren't mentioned in this video, but if you go back and watch literally the last video I did, you'll find out. This gentleman who's responsible for this captain no longer being alive had went and robbed a store. I think they say he robbed and said, give me $40 or something. You have to go and, do the research yourself. I'll leave the link to the print article in the pinned comment and or description, Lord willing. The sheriff's take on it is this right here. Remember, the chief said the only person saying these things about this dead captain is the person he labels a cop killer. The sheriff's take on this is this right here. The gentleman went and committed a crime, allegedly robbed a store, so he could go to jail just to get away from this now deceased captain. There were several attempts by this 25-year-old to get away from this now deceased captain who's being accused of having this guy being his drug runner. If you don't know this about me, cops are the only people, the government employees are the only people that are guilty until proven innocent. Everybody else, we in America. These people have earned the right for us not to believe a damn thing they're saying and doing. They lie to us when the information to prove that they're lying is before us on camera, and cameras don't lie. So the guy has did several things to try to get out of this relationship, according to another Johnny leader, the sheriff, your colleague, and they had information that your dead captain colleague was using this guy as a drug mule. And so when the guy went and robbed the store, your now deceased captain went up there and tried to pay the store people off and tell them to drop the charges against this guy. He's also manipulating this younger gentleman, saying, hey, you went to a mental facility or something and I got you out of that. Sir, these people are able to be interviewed. You don't, come on, man, what the fuck are you talking about? These people are telling the story, sir. So the person you label a cop killer is not the only one accusing you, a now deceased officer, of these things. People who also are party to the actions, who are participants in these situations, are saying these things happen. So if he's so damn innocent, why are they attesting to the very same actions? There was something going on here, and I'm just going to reiterate what I said in my other video, that the sheriff, he didn't say this in the last video, but he brought it out here. This gentleman feared for his damn life. He was dealing with a cop, someone in power, in position, to sugarcoat every damn thing that he was doing to him. And he got to the point where he tried every damn thing he could to get away from the situation, allegedly even committing a violent crime, and he still couldn't get away. And all of it culminated with your officer being dead. And the only person we're supposed to take about it is yours. Forget the facts. Forget everybody else admitting to these things, testifying to these things, attesting to these things. Just believe your word, because you have a dead-ass officer, and there was no way that he was what we commonly find out cops always are. We don't believe it. I just wanted to cover this story as an update, guys. Hope you had a beautiful day, a beautiful hump day, a beautiful week so far, and I hope the rest of your week is beautiful as well. Y'all be good. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.